All right. Doesn't that make you feel like dancing? I mean, it has me like literally dancing up a storm. And then I just feel like a saint. And then I say, okay, I'm here to call all the saints tonight. So welcome to the Miracle Makers Club, a path to leading a soulful and prosperous life with Joan of Angels, Reverend Dr. Joan of Angels. And I'm so happy to see you. And if you're new to me, well, welcome. I'm so happy to meet you. I'm just thrilled. And so I just want to drop in and say hi. And we are just going to expect miracles tonight. We are going to be live with my dear friend Shima Moore. I'm going to tell you about her in a minute. But I first want to update you on all what I call the miracle news, okay? There has been so much change and transformation that is going on, that a wave, and it's happening here in the Desert Heart Sanctuary too. Look, I have a new do, first of all, okay? So a new do, as signified by some of this change, right? But I have aligned myself with a platform, Spirituality Gone Wild. Some of you probably are from there right now. I love Spirituality Gone Wild. Debbie Garcia is actually the beautiful person who designed my miracle cards, the oracle cards from the Master of Miracles. So you're all familiar with Debbie and her work. A lot of you have seen these cards. So what's new? Well, number one, we are now the Miracle Makers Club, which is the vision I had with my kids. Wow, like 20 years ago. So it's a big deal to me. It's a big thing that this is suddenly culminating into that which I set in motion years ago, which I know Shima is going to explain about the whole Star of Bethlehem thing in a few minutes. But so what I'm doing with Spirituality Gone Wild, besides running my shows on her platform, I am going to be doing a show with Dr. Sharon. Some of you already know her too. I'm also doing once a month readings, oracle session for the planet on the American Gumption Show. That's where I am a saint, and all you saints come and join me there. All right. I also am running on Spirituality Gone Wild, a series of classes that are included in the membership site. Okay. And I don't know why I don't have that link there for you, but if you join the membership site using my link, very specifically, you have access to the 30 days of mastermind meditations, which I think are fantastic. They're actually mastermind miracle meditations and activations. Some of the best work I have ever done, just saying, because each one 30 days. So 30 days, I was pretty brilliant with the wisdom coming through. They're all channeled direct from spirit. So that's the first thing. Second thing I put up there for you is the weekly miracle report. I am so excited about the weekly miracle report. I posted the whole report on my Facebook page this time. I'm going to show you a clip, but from the New Year's on, you'll really only see a clip because that's for the members of the Untamed Club, and it's a free offering. And I'm also just finished my 5-day miracle path, Walk the Miracle Path, and it's up there. So you can sign up for the membership and take that class. And once you take that class, you're eligible to have a group training with me. And that's going to start in January. Debbie's going to get it on up, but it is really going to be, I don't even remember what I call this, like the ultimate find your purpose master class. And it's every week for 8 weeks. And I'll do readings for you. We'll be tweaking your energy. We'll be giving you super alignments to get on your path. And so honestly, it is a time who's come. Okay. So it didn't take that link. Why didn't you take the link? Hello. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Someone posted also. I have that, the bit.ly, Joan of Angels. So once a week, we're going to go live and it'll be questions and answers and I'll help clear your energy. We'll be doing activations, miracles, and manifesting and more. And it is a very intimate class because it's one-on-one. Well, one-on, but you get to work in harmony with me. And that is one of my fortes and gifts this life. So I wanted to share that out with you. So the next thing I think I'll do before I bring Shima on is I'm going to give you a little taste of that sampler. And that's 2 minutes, and then we'll bring Shima on, and then we'll be going for it tonight. Going through this channel, through this tunnel of the dark, getting right out into the light. So what specifically does that mean? So it means that right now, really take time with yourself. Take hot baths, drink hot apple cider with cinnamon and nutmeg and cardamom, chai tea, little spices that awaken your senses. Okay, so it's a time to awaken your senses. Lotion on your body, all right? The healing waters, essential oils, beautiful smells in your home, so that you can actually center yourself. And literally, they're telling me, sit in your throne. Find that special place where when you sit in that special place, you can meditate, you can go deep within, and you can literally feel that inner strength flow through you. It is a new beginning, a rejuvenation, and a renewal. As we go through this week, write down what it is you see, what you desire, and what you have been calling to you. For what is happening now is going to be, as I said, the sprouting of those seeds, those miracle seeds that you've planted, particularly over this last year, but for some of you for lifetimes. And it may seem like lifetimes, this lifetime too. So that which you have planted now, 2020 going into 2021, it is the time to really literally take a deep breath. Much is going to happen, but we're going to give you a period of grace. Stop what you're doing. Just listen to the music that nurtures your soul. Turn on a movie that has you weeping like a baby, and allow yourself to enjoy. If you're alone, that's a blessing. If you're with family, that's a blessing. Go on Zoom and connect deeply with those you love, because this is that time. But you have plenty of time now to take care of you. And that, my loves, is really what is critical, this taking care of you. All right. And that is so true, guys. Even though this is, quote, the holiday, and usually people are frenetic and out there, take this time to center and go within and start to focus on miracles. You know, what transformations have you been feeling? In fact, I'd love to see them in the comments. You know, pound, let's do it this way. Pound miracle, and then say what it is. You know, what blessings have you been receiving over the holidays? And I'd love to see that. My pound miracle is, well, number one, I'm on the Miracle Makers Club show with all of you, and getting to have my dear friend Shima on. So I'm looking to see these pound miracles. It looks just like this. Miracles. Seeing my family. That is a miracle. All right. So I want to see some of yours, guys, and I want to see where you're from. Hello, hello, hello. Let us know where you're from, so we know where we're going to send out some of those miracles, and we're going to go from there. All right. So Shima is one of my dearest friends, and she is actually the founder of the Conscious Life Expo, where I get to go every year with her. She's renowned as not only a speaker and astrologer, but she brings people together. And her astrology right now is very profound. She brings to us tonight a collection of teachers, of all the wisdom that she has gathered, and then she synthesizes it for us and she brings it on. So let's hear from her about what she has to say. Hi, Shima.
Hi, Joan. I'm excited to be here. What a perfect time.
I know, and it is a perfect time. So I see glitter and stars around you, and I'm thinking that's because you're the astrologer. Tell us a little bit. You're up in Mt Shasta, right?
Yes, I love it here. It's just wonderful. It's not for everybody. It's very quiet, which I love. And this time of year, this is a time to go within. In the holiday season, usually that's like, oh, so many things going on. We're stressed. We've got a party, all these things. This year, it really is a blessing because we really get to experience the true season. This is the darkest, longest night of the whole entire year. It's a time to go within. We have all these parties and all these things. It's kind of like our birthday. That's a very important time as well. And we have all this celebration, kind of like keeping us out into the world. But actually, it's really important to go inside. And during this, what a day this is. Today is it's probably the most powerful day any of us will ever experience in our life.
I love that. So as you go into that, did any of you guys go outside? Shima sent me a text and said, go out and see these two stars, these two planets coming together. And so she sent me outside and I saw them. And then I used my little binocular too. Right. And I could see them as separate. Like they were kind of separate. It's like looking at Gemini. They were kind of like separate, but together, connected. And that's what I saw. So you tell us all about it, love.
Well, I've been watching them. I love the night sky is just, it's a wonderful thing to learn. And I've been watching Jupiter and Saturn all year long. And I've been watching them in the sky. And they've been, like this in the sky. And then suddenly it seems to suddenly they're all together. And it's been overcast here. So I haven't been able to see the last couple of days. Well, actually, last night I went to a high point because I wasn't really sure where they were anymore in the sky because there had been all these clouds. So last night I went with a friend and we found there they were. Snapped a bunch of pictures. It was really great. Did some meditation, real important. And then tonight, see, I've always been able to see them right outside my door. I opened up my door and there they are. Well, tonight, there they were again. And so I called my neighbor. I texted you. A couple of people had reached out to me. Oh, Shima, I've been waiting all day long to find out, where do I look? Where do I look? Well, it's this particular experience. They're about 10 degrees apart, which is it's about a tenth of the moon. If you look up at the moon, they're about a tenth apart. And for me, if I look out of one eye, I can't see them at all.
Right.
I was using one little, a unocular, and it wasn't the best, but it did help. So if you had binoculars, that was great. I mean, I had a wonderful telescope, but I didn't really have any place to set it up. So, but this time now, this has been the closest. And they're not just, when we look at planets in the sky, it's not like we see them. We see them, they look like they're together, but they're like, millions of miles apart. But this time, they're closest that they've been, and their declination is what brings them together in the sky.
I saw them, and they didn't look astonishingly bright. They were... And that could be because I'm not as far up in the mountains as you are. So, I would have seen them in the sky. Okay, but tell us all about that.
Well, if you were a Zoroastrian priest,
right,
2 years ago, and
right,
you looked up in the sky, and you saw you saw this planet happening. It came from the east. Now we don't know exactly the date that
right.
Jesus was born. We don't really know. Was it 7 BC?
And don't they have a different sky than we have over on the other side of the planet here?
Well, north is one thing. The southern hemisphere is different. And so right now they're celebrating the first day of summer in the southern. So a lot of astrologers, start to call this particular solstice, and solstice means the sun stops in the sky for 3 days. It's just, it rises. Now, there are many amazing things that are happening at this time.
Tell us.
I got up this morning. I've been getting up in the morning and watching the sunrise because it is the most powerful time of the day. And these days, the sunrise is like, it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. It's anyone can really get up and watch the sunrise, you know, and just to anticipate. And of course, I've got Mt Shasta here. So that's, you know, a wonderful added thing. But here comes the sun and here come the rays, and feeling the rays. And I like to put my hands out and feel the heat of the rays on my hands. So I recommend trying that and just setting your whole day. The sun is, you know, in a lot of cultures, the sun is considered really the Lord. You know, it's the sun king. Getting back to the star, the Star of Bethlehem. Back in the day of Jesus, it was a different age, right? It was the age of Pisces. We're still in Pisces. We haven't fit into Aquarius. We don't know the exact time. It takes hundreds of years, and we're not quite there yet. We're in the energy of Aquarius. We're in the heralding the energy of Aquarius. But most astrologers say that this is not the age of Aquarius. We're not in it yet. Okay. But back in the time of Jesus, it was the age of Pisces. And Pisces is the time is House of David.
Mm-hmm.
And the coming together of Saturn and Pluto, that was like they were the timekeepers back in the day. They didn't have a watch. They didn't have the iPhone.
Right. So
Saturn and Pluto were the timekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturn and Pluto coming together were known as the king star. They called all the planets stars, you know, so they didn't really differentiate so much. So the whole thing about a king born in Bethlehem, it was these magi who were astrologers, who were following from the east. They came from the east. They came to Bethlehem, and Herod, the king at the time, didn't want any other kings around, right? He was the king.
Right.
But he welcomed the magi into his house, said, well, go find him. Go find him. And they did. You know, they were the only three other than the shepherds who were invited to be at the birth of Jesus, which is quite interesting. The astrologers. Now, this day, the solstice and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, both astronomers and astrologers are kind of on the same page with this. And that so seldom happens. It's very exciting, you know, that you could look online and you could see them talking about the cycle of Saturn, the 29.5-year cycle of Saturn. It's like, it's a little mind-blowing from an astrological point of view because, you know, they weren't really together at one point, but then the church and the, you know, the powers that be, there was too much personal empowerment when you know astrology, when you know what's really going on.
Right.
So
about everything, but yes, astrology is one of them.
Astrology is definitely, because it's right there. It's in the stars. As above, so below. As without, so within.
Right.
That's
So, right.
Thing.
So what can we expect nowadays with this amazing planetary alignment?
Say that again, because you just broke up that whole thing.
What can we expect to experience?
Okay. Okay. So there's like, we are like between, we're in this alchemical time between the ending of a 26,000-year cycle, a great new year, a galactic, the galaxy is going through this whole shift. It's the exact moment was like 1998. So it's 72 years before and after that. So we're in it. Those of us who are here that is our life. We're really living that. Okay, so that's one thing. During the solar eclipse, during the solstice, during that period of the turning of the ages, it's called, when the sun rises at the solstice, it rises on what's called the galactic cross. And if you look
Right.
outside and you see the Milky Way and the galactic cross is the ecliptic of where all the planets go around, the sun and the planets go around the ecliptic, and then it connects with the center of the galaxy. So there's a cross, and during the solstice, during this period of the turning of ages, the sun actually rises on that cross for 3 days. The sun rises for 3 days. So some of the languaging that we
When
hear
does that happen?
today,
So the sun is not going this way, it's going this way?
no, the sun is going the way it normally goes. But when you look at it in the morning and get up in the morning and look at the sunrise, because it's a powerful time, it's a special time. This is not like only one. This is happening for a period of 72 years. We have, I think, to at least 2034.
Got it.
Unless we add like another degree of orb, and then that goes to 2070, where we won't be around for that. But right now, it's a good chance we'll be here for the whole thing. So that is the galactic 26,000 year cycle.
Right.
Today is the winter solstice. Okay. The last time Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct on the winter solstice, I heard today was 5,000 years ago. So we are looking at cycles that are totally amazing. These are like, if you just stop to think and tune in a bit, just the cycle of Saturn and Pluto coming together, that's a 20-year cycle. So as of now, we have shifted. We are in Aquarius, right? The energy of Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is a air sign, fixed air. We have been, my hair is looking kind of weird here. We have been in Earth for the last almost 200 years. So
What do you mean?
Think of the energy of Earth. Jupiter and Saturn are called the social planets. The planets, there's like celestial planets, which are Neptune and Uranus. We've got the personal planets. This is the sun, moon, Venus. We call the sun and the moon planets. Venus, Mars, Mercury. Those are all personal. We call those personal. And then we have Saturn and Jupiter. And Saturn and Jupiter are the middle world. They're like how we relate. They're the social thing. And if you look at the glyph, and I wish I had a blackboard here, but if you look at the glyph for Saturn and Jupiter, they both have a cross on them. If you look at Saturn, Saturn is kind of like it has a cross, and then at the bottom it has sort of a moon. Okay. If you look at Jupiter, there's the cross, and the moon is at the top. It looks kind of like a 4. Okay.
Right.
They're both about the world on the cross. The cross is the material. So now think about Earth. Earth is the cross. It's the material world, right? The moon, that's a whole totally different energy. But the Earth energy. So that's Jupiter and Saturn. Well, they're coming together. They've been in Earth for 200 years. So let me see. I had something here. I wanted to kind of look at the ages, just to kind of give you an idea of the ages.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to know how it impacts us.
Yes.
And how we can use this energy to make miracles in our life.
Yes. Okay. So today they met in a new area of the sky. It's an energy for almost 200 years now. It's solidly in Earth and solidly in air. So when it was in water, it was in water
Right.
1400 to the
For
1600s.
Pisces, right? The age of the age of Pisces.
That was, no, this was 1400 to 1600.
Okay.
That was the Renaissance. It was subjective, emotional, sensitive. Imagine what was going on then. We traveled everywhere in boats, water, right? Then we
Right.
had the fire cycle, another 200 years. That was
I
aggressive.
see. Okay. Now I understand.
Okay, 1600 to 1800, aggressive, endless wars and pillaging. Then we went in Earth from 1800
Ah.
to 2000, the industrial age. Building, 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 plundering the Earth's resources. We became the undertakers rather than the caretakers of the Earth. Okay.
Mhm.
The shadow side, the control and the ambition, it took us over. Now we're in air. Now it's about mental information, technology, the age of technology, interconnectedness, information at our fingertips. No, there's no surprise that we're talking like this, right? On our phones.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Like that's air. So like I understand we're like developing the space programs. Is that increased? And like Elon Musk, I understand people really expect to be landing on Mars. Is that part of being part of the age of Aquarian or the age of air?
Okay, the energy of air. Now, air is technology. It's
Right.
humanity. It's hard to think of the 80s when we would talk about the age of Aquarius, right? What it, quality and understanding, harmony and understanding, right? Compassion and kindness and all of that. That's the beautiful part of Aquarius.
Okay.
And the technology of consciousness is part of that. But also technology. And there's a shadow side. There's a shadow side of everything. So the shadow side of air and technology is AI.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's the big, people don't really know what to say about that.
Right.
The
And
big
the whole
mystery to us, the humans here.
every time I see 5G commercials, I'm like, no, we don't need to be faster, better, and fry our our beings. So, resist. They say
A little
resist.
bit of conflict between, and actually last year at the Conscious Life Expo, guys, they talked a lot about how AI, people are going to develop these bodies and take your mind and put it into another body, and you won't, if and that's pretty scary in a lot of ways, or even robots that are smarter than us. This is how I left the Conscious Life Expo last year feeling, guys, that there are going to be robots taking over the earth, and then they're going to look at people like us and say, you're extinct, you get sick, you can't work 24/7, you have to eat and have a nap, you're a human.
Exactly. Well, and Greg Braden last year, that was his talk, right? It was like the
Right.
battle for humanity's soul.
Yes, and that's what I'm thinking of.
And I have heard Greg, you were with me, and I have heard Greg speak every year that he's been at Expo. He's never spoken before, right? People like William Henry has talked about technology and chips and
Right.
AI and all of that, but not Greg Braden. This was like really a first. And
So,
one of the that he spoke about was Elon Musk.
yes.
And I had always heard about him as like, oh, Tesla technology, and wasn't he great and all this stuff. But I started, and Greg spoke about the fact that he was looking at putting this chip in our brains so that, we didn't have to type anymore. Now we could just think it.
That's right. That's right. So that all we have to do is think of what it is we want and it'll happen or get typed. Or that's almost like Jedi. There's a lot of stuff about you're developing your superpowers, your Jedi warrior, and they've developed these games on the computer that you just can move everything with your brain. They're training people to do that, which in a way, I think would be great unless it turns us into a robot.
Well, here's the thing. And this is the thing that Greg mentioned, was that we have that capacity. We can do that. We don't need it implant.
That's right. That's true.
Remember,
that is very true.
Younger, when he presented this to a younger audience, they were like, "Oh, cool, man, that would be really great," right? And it's like, no, because that
Right,
would
right.
then diminish our ability to do that. We are moving into that. We've got a 200-year period for imagine how humanity can evolve. Now, the thing with Elon Musk and, the whole 5G thing and putting these towers everywhere and putting this net around the planet, again, are they trying to keep us in, or are they trying to keep our star families out?
Well, I like to think of that net now that we know they're circling the planet with. I like to infuse that net with miracle power and lots of crystals, miracle seeds, and turn it against and turn it for powerful energy, because the Native Americans said we're a soul planet, and they used to do prayers to surround the earth with prayers. So knowing that there's a net of 5G around us, we have, and you're saying though that, like Greg is reminding us, we have that power within us, which is all this miracle power anyway. So we can actually shift that net into a miracle net, a net of cosmic. I think we've lost your voice, hon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I think we can turn. What do you think? That sounds like a great idea.
I like
Now,
that. Here's the thing with this year. Okay. So here's what's happening with the whole Christmas star connection,
right.
Jupiter and Saturn. They are opening this new area for each of us individually. And when we have our chart, we can see where that is. So, like for Capricorn rising,
Like me. Okay, guys, she's talking about me. She's done my chart for 10 years.
So here's the thing. When you listen to somebody talking about a particular sign or doing a forecast, you want to look at 3 things in your chart. Get your chart. First of all, I recommended this last year. On Christmas, I wrote a 4,000-word article last year before COVID. Who knew, right?
Mm-hmm.
On what was coming. And we just knew it was going to be a unique year. And so I recommended get your chart. You can get it online for free. You can send something to me. I'll send it to you. But
don't you do free charts for people, Shima?
What's that?
Don't you offer like a free chart?
I do.
Well, give me your email. How can they get that free chart?
Well, they can go to my website. They can actually go to my website, Shima Moore, Shima Moore. And there's a thing there that just where they can contact me through that. And I'll tell you,
it's free.
And it's free. Yeah. I love astrology. I spend most of my day it's like, wow, how exciting is it that what's going on in the heavens is totally reflected in the world and in our life. Okay.
So we've been in this pandemic for almost a year. And I remember being at the expo last February with you, hon, and that was crazy because they predicted, I thought we were going to have the most outrageous success. That's what we were talking about. And then suddenly we had this. So now what can we anticipate coming up with this Star of Bethlehem? What can we anticipate?
Okay, here's the thing. This is what I started to say. So when people think, well, I'm a Pisces, right? Or I'm a Taurus.
Right.
But that's your sun sign. That's one aspect of who you are. The reason you need your chart and the time of your birth is because your rising sign is so important. It places everything in specific areas of your chart that makes this moment or any moment specific for you. Okay. And that changes every 4 minutes. The degrees change, and there's 30 degrees in the sun. Uh-huh. So if you want to really know about you, find your birth time. Do whatever research to get it. Okay.
All right. So guys, definitely reach out and have her do your chart. And that's anyone who wants miracles, reach out and have her do your chart. Especially it's free now. She'll interpret it. That's a different story.
I don't do a lot of interpretations these days.
But if you get her to do it, it's really good. Just right? So you know.
Right.
She's a dear friend. And I feel, honestly, if anyone who gets on my show, which is hard to get on nowadays, I will promote and love, because that's the only reason I let you on my show to begin with. Shima, let's backtrack, okay? Although you could talk about Capricorn rising all you want. I'll be happy to hear about Capricorn, Cancer rising, whatever. But what can we expect energetically around us? It's like so much is happening out there in the world, and people don't know. We're going out, we're going in. Are we going to get through this? Will we live?
We're going to get through it. It's still going to be a couple of rough. We still have rough. It's not like, next year, oh, it's 2021, everything is great. No, it's going to lessen through January and February. Things should mellow out. In terms of, the expansion of Jupiter, the beginning of the year could be a little rough. Okay.
What does that mean, a little? So, and I'll tell you why I ask. So it's a 5-year, 2021. It's a 5-year, which is all about freedom and, fulfilling your destiny through freedom. But the opposite is restriction. So just as much as you can have freedom, I'm wondering if what you're saying is we're going to continue to feel restriction, because that's the lesson of the opposite of freedom.
Well, in fact, 2021, now we've got Jupiter and Saturn out of Capricorn. Yay, that's really great, right? We still have Pluto there. Pluto's going to be there for another couple of years. And Pluto is a 240-year cycle, and we're coming to a Pluto return in the United States.
Is that good or bad?
That is challenging. That could be
and I'm glad you used a different word. Reframe to challenging.
The dissolution of things so that they can be rebuilt again. So what that looks like, we've all wanted change, but we didn't know what change was going to look like. But guess what? Now we change, right? Next year, so at the beginning of the year, Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct, and then Jupiter pulls ahead, because Jupiter goes around every 12 years. Saturn takes 29 and a half years. Next year, so Saturn and Jupiter now are like at 0 degrees Aquarius. Square that is Taurus, where Uranus is. So you're talking about freedom, rebellion. Well, that's Uranus. Mm-hmm. Uranus, freedom, rebellion, change.
And that's what's been happening.
Well, that's what's going to happen next year.
Even more.
However, Saturn and Uranus are square. Square is challenging. Now, at the end of it, we end up usually better. Whenever we have challenges, we get better. So it's going to be challenging.
Interesting. You used the word dissolution, and the prophecies on 2020 and this election have been that this could be the last election of our country. I mean, that could be but I don't feel that. But
that's not the case.
But so there's all sorts of energies. And that's why I think going inside yourself is only the best solution out there, because we're not impacting what's going on out there. Yes, that global meditation today can create a change. And I think activating that grid, turning it into a miracle grid in our consciousness and really holding, I think that could make a great change. A golden, right? Yeah. Like through this golden thread of energy.
Yeah, that's really good. So this year coming up is, the COVID is, dissolution is what Pluto does. All of these big planets, they create, Jupiter expands things. So we had COVID, Jupiter, every time Jupiter and Pluto came together 3 times, guess what happened? Right. We had an expansion of COVID, right?
Wait, so I didn't get that. So when did you're saying every time these planets came together, the cases of COVID increased?
Yeah, like April and June, and then again, whenever it was, October,
Got it.
Yeah, so it's been fascinating to watch. But now, so that's changing. Okay.
Thank you. It is changing.
It's changing. It's transforming. They're about transformation. Mm-hmm. Transformation is not an easy process. we all came here to be here for the
We
transformation.
did. We chose to be
Talked
here.
about this for years, haven't we?
Yes, yes, we've
Yes.
been waiting. Actually, we have been waiting for this time.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's now upon us.
Yes.
Here I am going, okay, what's going to happen? Show us what's going to happen. Come on.
Well,
give us a clue.
well, that's, the clue is it's not over. It's going to continue through next year. Now, where it is in your chart are certain areas that one of the things that seems to have come up a lot is it's gradual. There's going to be changes. There's going to, it sounds like just like how life is, right? Major changes, embarking in new areas. You, it's your money house. It's the area of Taurus. It's the area of self-esteem. There might be some challenges, your hobbies, your passions, things you're really passionate about, but they need a financial foundation. So so it may get off to us. The year may not like all of a sudden buckets are going to start kind of like, the end of the rainbow. Yay. No, probably not. But it's going to, the year you're going to see results. Whatever you do this year, you're going to see results for years and years and years. And people who have children.
Music to my ears.
Huh?
This is good music to my ears. What about people who have children?
Children, it's there. So what's ever happening now is like, for it's your children. This is an 800-year cycle we're going into, right? Until we come back again after we go through the air sign, then we have to go through all the other elements. There's earth, air, fire, and water, right? So we have to go through all of them to come back. So, so your children, your children's children, their children's children's children. Think about the extent of some of the things that we are now, what we are, and this is an important week. Okay. And I want to be sure to mention this.
Okay.
This new galactic 26,000 year cycle, this new 20-year cycle of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, this new 200-year cycle in air. So in 2040, Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Gemini, and then in 2060 they conjunct in Libra, and then in 2080 they come back to Aquarius, and then so they do that for a while, and then they're going to shift into other elements. So it's going to be a long time before they come back to this. So what we create now, we are the seed people. We are creating seeds for what's to come.
I love that. That's the miracle seed. Seeds for what is to come. Okay, I knew she'd like get in this.
Right? And so here's the thing. Every month, and I think you know this. I used to do this on my radio show. It just sort of organically happened. I didn't even really plan it. I started doing because I've been doing new moon wishes for years and years. And my show was on Monday, like your show. And so and it happened to be the new moon, the quarter moon, the full moon, the last quarter. And so because each week was like 7 days is a quarter cycle of the moon, right? It's a month, right?
Right, it's a month.
So at the new moon, what do? You set your intentions.
Right. That's what we had last week, the new moon.
Right. So we were going to originally get together 2 weeks ago, actually. And
right.
I was excited about that because there were all these things coming up that I wanted to talk about. And then last week we were going to get together, and that was the new moon. That was cool. But today's the best.
Today's the best. Today is the now, and we're in.
And it's the most powerful, probably the most powerful day we will ever experience. And so here's the thing. The new moon energy, it's not a new moon today, but we have the cycle of the new moon is often used for whenever a planet comes together, whenever a planet conjuncts, it's like the sun and the moon conjuncting, like a new moon.
Right.
So Jupiter and Saturn are coming together. We're starting a new cycle in air. We're kind of like in this cycle, this 26,000 year thing for the galactic year. So consider this, it's like we usually wait till New Year's to set our intentions and our resolution. That's an arbitrary date. Okay, that's the Gregorian calendar. They changed everything around. Today is a cosmic, galactic, bigger than life day, a once in a lifetime day. Right after we're finished, think about what you want to create next year.
Okay.
And set your intentions and your resolutions for 2021 and the next 20 years today. Today or tomorrow, this 3-day period while the sun is solstice, while it's stopped in the sky on the galactic cross. Okay, powerful. We couldn't ask for a more powerful time to do this.
So even more powerful than the new moon then. Wow.
This is, like we started, we had
I love this.
2 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, we had the eclipse. That was the thing. It was a total eclipse. South America, you could see it. That was a super new moon. This is a super, 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 super new moon. This is beyond anything. That opened a portal. That eclipse opened a portal.
Yes.
To this time. Okay. This is so important. I meditated today because I wanted to be in the group energy at 10:22. Got up, saw the sunrise, that energy. So it's a time to go inside. This whole year has been that. Next year, this is a time to not really listen to other people. I know I'm telling you all this stuff, right? But go.
Oh my God, that's so interesting because my family is trying to really tell me what to do right now. So you're saying don't listen to everyone else. This is huge, guys. I'm going to make her say this again.
Yes, this is a time, and this year coming up, this time now, this is a time, this Aquarian energy. Aquarian is the rebel. This is new energy, new information. Aquarians want to be liked, but they also, once they research stuff themselves, not somebody who's an authority tells them, they find things off the beaten path. And once they get it, they're resolute. They're really on that, right? This is a time, we're in the period now, and it's not like overnight. We're going to grow more and more into this, right? About doing our own research.
Right.
Coming to our own and not letting other people tell us what we should do.
Okay.
This is a time.
Everyone has to hear that.
This is self-empowerment. This is a time for you to be empowered, to go inside. I have to say for myself, I've been in serial monogamy most of my life. I love, that's why I love that. But these days I'm really enjoying, my own company and the invisible beings that are the energy that surrounds us all. There is magic surrounding us all.
Do you know the moment you said that, I felt them.
Yes. And one of the things that I do, I was invited this summer to teach this class called Pan-Eurythmy. It was out of Bulgaria in like the 1917 but to 1937 by a man named Peter Dunov. And and nobody knew about him because they were behind the Iron Curtain, right, for years. And this is like the prophet of our times. And Albert Einstein says, "The world bows down before me. I bow down to Master Peter Dunov." And Wayne Dyer read that and ended up doing the forward to this second edition of this book. And so one of the things that I've become more and more aware of in teaching this amazing sacred dance that I was invited this summer to lead, to be the leader here in Mt Shasta. I'm happy to go around the world and do it. I love it. I started learning about Peter Dunov, who's the one who talks about the sun in the morning. And he's into the whole astrological thing. He's into magic and all this wonderful stuff. And one of the things we start the dance with is, and I wanted to start this today in our conversation, was a blessing that is very simple blessing with our hand on our heart, our left hand on our heart. And what's interesting, we did this in Stargate.
Let's do that right now because we didn't actually start with a blessing.
Okay, so imagine
go from now on. Thank you.
Imagine this energy coming in to the top of our head, into our third chakra, into our chakra, down into our heart, down into our throat, and into our heart. And feel the energy in your hand. Feel that energy coming down. It's coming down from our star families. It's coming down from the beautiful, the Pleiades, the Jupiter and Saturn, all the planets, all this wonderful energy, our quantum consciousness self beyond the galactic forces coming down into our heart. Feel that energy. And we would let the energy come in and around and then send it out into the world. And one of the things we did in Stargate is then after sending it out into the world, we then brought it back into our own body and healed our own body where we needed it. And it totally reminded me of this blessing that we do panurhythmy, which is our hand on our heart, our left hand on our heart, and just, oh blessed, oh kindly, luminous beings.
Oh, kindly,
luminous beings, guardians of this place. Thank you for your hospitality, and may God bless you. And we do that in a circle 3 times. Oh, kindly, luminous beings, guardians of this place. Thank you for your hospitality, and may God bless you. Oh, kindly, luminous beings, guardians of this place. Thank you for your hospitality, and may God bless you.
I love it. I just wrote it. Thank you so much. Shima, how can people reach you? Because we're getting close to the time. Yeah, I know. It just flew by. Guys, we're going to have Shima come, I think, once a month, but only like to do a short segment, really focused on that moon cycle or predictions for the month. Miracle manifesting for the month.
There we go. Well, that's the whole thing with just the moon. You can do that. That's what I did on my show. Yes.
And then if people are prepared, they can actually have their chart. And if you talk about different things, they'll know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
So I want everyone to reach out to Shima and have your astrology chart and pay attention for when I have her on for her segment. All right. It's going to be the astrology of miracles. Okay. Let's because we need that kind of energetics to really step into that kind of power. So tell us where they can reach you and what you offer.
Which you helped me build, which we need to redo. ShimaMoore.com. So it needs a little updating, but it tells you a bit about who I am and what I do. And so I'd like you to know that. And right now I basically do research and education. That's my favorite thing. But I'd be happy to do charts for your listeners, Joan. And
okay.
I don't, I'm not out there marketing, but it's my gift. And I love to do that. That's really what
Thanks, sweetheart. All right. We're going to say goodbye to Shima. You know how to find her. I've already put it down here, ShimaMoore.com. Get an astrology chart from her so you're prepared for our next time with her. And thank you, sweetie. All right, guys. So we're almost to the end of the show. And I just want to say wonderful things to all of you. Okay. It is a time to go inside. You guys, the light is shining very bright, even amongst so much of the darkness. And it's up to us to just really focus in, feel that presence. I love that concept of changing the 5G, that web around the planet, and shifting it into a golden gossamer, golden threads, golden seeds of celestial energetic auric energy that can trickle down for everyone. This is the time of seeds being planted. This is one of the most powerful galactic times, which is true, I'm so glad she talked about the Star of Bethlehem. I mean, that this is what was in the sky the last time there, 2,000 years ago, such a powerful event that changed humanity. And I do believe that we're in that change now where humanity is about to shift in a major way. And yes, it may seem a little like dissolution, as Shima says, but nevertheless, we're getting clear, and that which we seek, if we hold that vision of the higher power for our earth, so Mother, Father, God, we hold each of us in balance and harmony with the knowing that the truth is that we are here to help lift, inspire, and heal. We are here as part of this great and grand awakening. We ask for courage and strength to really walk through these transformations around us and still be at peace and harmony, that we can hear our inner voice and that our inner voice gets stronger and stronger and stronger. We ask to be a living example and walking in the truth and power of miracles, knowing that which we see in our mind are focused intentions, writing down exactly what we want, as Shima told us tonight. Focus our intentions, and that is what Spirit will bring back to us. So, whoa, and I feel that power as we speak, and that power is within each and every one of you. So I'm going to say good night. We're here every Monday now. Spirituality Gone Wild, Joan of Angels, Joan Hangarter. You can find me even on YouTube right now. Thank you for watching. I'm just so grateful to have you as part of my miracle tribe. I hope you join me in the Untamed Club where, join me in that Untamed Club where you can have personal attention, personal time with me. So I think that's pretty gosh darn good. And that is one of my fortes, is helping you remember who you are. So thank you, everyone. Have a blessed and miraculous week doing what you love to do. Listen to your voice, and it is time for miracles.